wanted to reiterate an instruction I had given earlier in the case. We have had some questions regarding transcripts of statements. As I had mentioned, it is not the transcript that is in evidence or is evidence. It's actually, in this case, what I'll call a videotape with audio. And it appears there may have been a refinement of a transcript at some point, but the point is that ultimately it is not the transcript of what was said, actually said on the tape, and not someone's opinion as to what was said that is evidential. So I just wanted to reiterate that reminder. I think with that, we're going to have continued questioning. Very good. Thank you.
Mr. Stangeland, before we broke, I was asking you a series of questions, and I was following up on Mr. Muller's recross. One of the questions he asked you was, isn't it a fact that you allowed Mr. Barger to continue to live in your house because you couldn't pay your mortgage? He answered that question,
Yes.
right? And you indicated you had income at the time, correct?
Yes,
What incomes did you have?
from an over-the-road truck, semi, hauling deli meat, frozen foods, cheese, produce, all over the country.
Was that basically a cash business?
But yes,
And with regard to the payment for these loads that you would haul, how were you paid?
by check or what they call a com check that's put, you can just go right to a truck stop or whatever and receive the funds out of their cash register.
And with regard to checks that you would receive, where would they be sent to?
My home address.
And is that the address you operated your trucking business out of?
Yes.
And you had a driver, I understand, at that time, correct?
Yes.
And you yourself weren't driving in January of 2010?
No.
With regard to your other business, what was your other business?
Vending machines.
And that's why you had the name vendor,
Yes.
and Billy Barger gave you that name.
Yes.
Now, with regard to the vending machine business, for how long have you been involved in vending machines?
Over 20 years.
And was that generally in the Nevada, Missouri area?
Yes, and surrounding, like 30-mile circle.
How many machines did you have placed at any one time?
Exactly, I don't remember, but over 200.
And did you basically handle the routes to go check the machines, refill them, service them?
Yes.
And I assume that was a cash business because money goes into the vending machine and money comes out, correct?
Yes.
And when you refer to monies that Billy took from you,
Yes.
could you tell me whether or not they were from the vending machine business, from the trucking business, or from both?
Well, and I had some other income too from selling the store, and I had to carry the inventory on it because the bank wouldn't cover the liquid assets like that.
I see. Store, what kind of store?
Convenience, liquor, cigarette outlet.
And when did you cease to operate that store?
In March of 2005.
And you had sold the store.
Yes.
With regard to the mortgage, how much was your mortgage a month?
$2,200 if I remember right.
What kind of income did you get in the fall of 2009 from your vending machine business?
About $2,000 a week.
And when the prosecutor asked you about why you couldn't pay your mortgage, you indicated it was because of Billy Barger you couldn't pay it, correct?
Yes.
It wasn't because you didn't have income.
At the beginning of 2009, I didn't have a driver for the truck, and I lost my CDL license for 1 year. And in the amount of time getting a driver lined up and keeping, what do you want to say, the utility bills, paying that, I did fall behind by a couple months.
At that time, was your house in foreclosure?
No.
Did you ever discuss with Billy Barger the fact that he was taking your money?
Yes.
And what was the reply?
Don't worry about it. We'll buy the house.
And what about the house? Did Billy Barger ever refer to it as your house?
He was basically claimed it was the family's or his house. Different times you make different statements.
You went across the country looking to solve the problem, so to speak.
Yes,
And when you got to Missouri, you found a solution.
yes,
Mr. Mueller asked you whether or not this problem that you saw made sense to you.
yes,
At the time, were you actively looking for a way to solve the problem?
yes.
Why?
Just, I felt it was the wrong man.
I have nothing further, Judge. Thank you.
Okay. So if it was the right man, you would have brought him back to Billy.
No,
If this was the solution to the problem, what happened at Rick's C-store, which you've admitted had nothing to do with you, it's just by happenstance. Why, sir, did you try to get the car restarted?
I had no other option with the other two guys with me.
Well, you actually were trying to get the car restarted, right?
What
You're
else
doing
could
the
I
best you could.
do? I had to make an attempt with them there, reporting to the Billy Barker.
Why did you tell the cashier not to call the police if this was the answer to your problems?
To try to keep undercover with Lonnie so he wouldn't know what I was doing.
Lonnie was back getting Jeff in the car. He wouldn't have known what you said to the cashier.
That, I didn't want that, anything other than not to.
So this is the answer to your problems, but you're trying to get the car restarted, and you're telling the cashier not to call the police, correct?
So much was happening so quick, I didn't know what to do.
And you told both Billy Barger and Sonny Barger that you actually wanted to go through and commit this kidnapping, correct? You told them you wanted to. You
What
wanted
else
to
could
do
you
it.
tell them?
How about,
In writing?
you know what,
could you tell them?
I'd rather not do this.
I tried that.
But that's what you said to them, that you wanted to do it, correct?
I tried to tell them I didn't want to do it, and that's when I was threatened with Deacon to follow and make sure I did do it.
When you were at Rick's C-store, you were communicating yourself with Billy Barger?
Some, yes.
And you actually told him where you were, correct?
I sent him further on east
You told him
to
you were-
another exit.
You were told him you were at Rick's C-store?
I told him we were further east on the bypass of Highway 54 business route at Eldon.
And
Which-
what was the name of the establishment that you told him you were at?
I don't remember telling him exactly where we were at. I think I said a Senex, which was a brand of gas station, which they're all over in that area, like Quick Checks are here.
And you knew that your son and father was safe because Billy Barger was about an hour away or whatever the distance was?
Yeah, over 100 miles away from them.
So to make your father and son safe, all you had to do was get them about an hour away from Billy Barger, they would be safe, correct?
That's what I was hoping, yes.
So at any time prior to this, to ensure the safety of your son and father, had you simply gotten them about an hour away from Billy Barger, they would have been safe.
I don't know.
But that's what you believe, right?
He-
That's all you had to do.
At that time, yes, because Billy Barker was not present at my house. Or in the town of the Bay.
You were actually involved in competitive shooting,
Yes,
and you were taking a firearm safety course?
yes,
You had all those guns that are reflected in that picture, correct?
yes,
Shooting your whole life, correct?
yes,
Very proficient with a firearm, would you agree?
yes.
How was it that gun went off accidentally?
I
With
have
your
no
finger
idea.
outside the trigger gun?
I believe the safe was on. Besides, it was a malfunction of the old gun being rusty is what the deputy sheriff told me at home. The inside mechanism was all rusty and
And it just went off?
that's what
By
I was
all by
told.
itself?
They never disputed that and they tested the gun is what I was told.
That's what you were told?
That's what I was told.
Who did that?
Detective John Randall.
The person who testified here today? I mean, not today, but during this trial?
Yes,
You didn't hear that come out of his mouth at any time, did you?
no, nobody asked him about the gun.
Would have been a logical question to ask, don't you think? That was in fact true?
I don't know, nobody asked him.
That's all I have.
Gun went off, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Stangeland?
Yes, sir.
And you don't know why it went off, am I correct?
No.
It wasn't because you pulled the trigger in the direction of Mr. Scammell, though, am I correct?
No,
And to this day, other than the fact that John Randall may have told you about how the gun operated or didn't operate, you only know that on that day the gun went off, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you did not intentionally shoot Mr. Scammell?
No, my finger was never in the trigger guard, inside of it.
I have nothing further, Judge.
One follow-up.
Yeah.
When Charles Scammell asked you why you shot him, what did you say?
That was the first thing that came to my mind,
What did you say?
because you didn't sit down.
So you actually gave him a reason why you shot him, correct?
That was the first thing that came to mind.
How about, oh my God, it went off by accident, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
Barger always said, never show any weakness.
Larger than, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Anything additional?
When you made that statement to Mr. Scammell, because you didn't sit down, you said that was the first thing that came to your mind to say?
Yes.
You could have said to him, obviously, the gun went off, I'm sorry.
Yes.
But you didn't. And that was because that would be inconsistent with the mission that you had gone there for, correct?
Yes.
I have nothing further.
Thank you.
You may step down, watch your step. Mr. Morrison, I believe you've arranged for another witness. Is that somebody who's available?
Yes, he's outside, Judge.
Very good. Who's that?
Derek Stangeland.
Very good. We have Derek Stangeland.
I'll get him.
Very good.
Well, then you're going to go up to the witness stand here in the center of the courtroom, okay?
Right around there, and we're gonna have you seated up there in a moment, but I will swear you in if you don't mind. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? And could you state your name for our record?
Derek Stangeland,
And could you spell your last name?
Stangeland.
Very good. Why don't you make yourself comfortable in that seat, and now I notice you're a little bit soft-spoken. We have kind of a big room here, and the acoustics are okay, but they're not going to amplify your voice. So if you could, try to project your voice out towards Mr. Morrison and the jury fairly loudly, okay?
Yes,
Okay.
You're going to let me hear you, right?
yes, sir.
Okay. Derek, how old are you?
I'm 21,
In January of 2010, how old were you?
15,
Which date of birth?
1993, 10/21/93,
And where do you currently live?
Nevada, Missouri.
And with regard to Nevada, what kind of a town is Nevada?
Very small town compared to this.
And how long have you lived in Nevada?
My whole life,
And that would be 21 years.
yes.
How are you related to the gentleman seated here at the table?
That's my dad.
And at some point in time, your mom and your dad were divorced, is that correct?
Yes.
You were a little kid at that time, right? About how old?
I believe 4 or 5, sir.
And where did your dad live at that time?
His house, the family house, my mom moved out.
And where did your mom live?
In town, in Nevada.
And who did you live with of the two?
My dad,
And you lived with your dad until sometime in 2009, if I'm correct, right?
yes,
Okay. Do you work?
yes, sir.
Where do you work?
Sonic, so I don't know if you have them out here.
Okay.
Fast food place.
Fast food place? Have you worked any other jobs other than at the Sonic?
Yes,
What kind of job?
Wood's a supermarket there, locally in town. Poured a little concrete, did a little bit of construction.
And at the current time, right now, sitting in court, are you nervous?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yesterday, you flew from Nevada, Missouri, to Kansas City, Missouri, to St. Louis, to Newton, New Jersey, to testify, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you're not here because anybody forced you to be here, correct?
No, not at all.
You're here because you want to be here and testify.
Yes,
And
sir.
obviously, you want to help your dad.
Yes, sir.
And you were told to tell the truth. And you said you swore to tell the truth today, correct?
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be here, am I correct?
That's correct.
How did you get from Newark Airport to Newton, New Jersey last night?
Limo service came and got me.
And where are you staying in Newton?
The Holiday Inn.
And last night, when you got to the Holiday Inn, I was there and I introduced myself to you, correct?
Yes, sir.
And this morning, did you have any other visitors at the Holiday Inn to see you?
Yes, sir.
And did they identify themselves to you?
They were the two detectives that came to talk to me in Missouri. I don't know their names. I recognize them, but I don't know their names.
And how did you learn that they wanted to talk to you?
The hotel phone rang, and I answered, and they asked for Mr. Stangeland. I said that they were talking to him, and they said there's two detectives downstairs that'd like to talk to you.
And did you go downstairs and talk to them?
Yes.
Do you see those detectives in the courtroom now?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Point them out to me.
The man right back there, and I don't believe I see the other gentleman.
Okay. See him in the back row?
Yeah, yes, he's back there.
Judge, for the record, Detective Laird and Detective Gill.
Very good.
And did you expect to talk to them this morning?
No.
Did you tell the truth to them?
Yes.
And they had interviewed you before in Nevada, Missouri, am I correct?
Yes, sir.
When?
They said 2013, which sounds right to me.
Now, do you recall growing up in the household with your dad?
Yes.
And did you have a normal relationship with your dad?
I would say so, yeah.
Okay. Did you get along with him?
Oh, yeah.
You love your dad?
Yes, sir.
Did your grandfather play a part in also your growing up?
Oh, very much so.
What was his name?
Kenneth Stangeland,
And where did he live?
in Nevada, Missouri.
Different place from where you live?
Yeah. Or just,
Were you close to your grandfather?
yes, sir.
Were you close to your dad?
Very much so, sir.
Did you have a relationship with your mom during that time too?
Yes.
Your grandfather's deceased now, he died, right?
Yes, sir.
And I assume you miss him.
Very much so.
With regard to your grandfather, do you know how your dad felt about him?
I knew he loved him. I was his dad. He loved him the same way I'm sure I love my dad. So,
And how old would you say your grandfather was when he passed away?
late 70s, maybe early 80s, I can't remember.
With regard to 2009, do you remember a holiday that's referred to in Missouri called Bushwhackers?
Yeah, Bushwhacker Days, yes, sir.
Okay. What is Bushwhacker Days?
There's a bunch of vendors, and they all come around the city square, and they have music and things like that. It's like a little type of fair. They have rides and stuff.
Now, calling your attention to Bushwhacker Days, about when would that be during the year?
I think it's in like the first couple weeks of June.
And does it last for more than one day?
I believe it's an all-weekend thing, like a 3-day thing or something.
Did you attend Bushwhacker Days in 2009?
Yes, I did.
Before that day, did you know an individual who was known as Billy Barger?
Yes.
How did you know him before that?
Just meeting him. My dad introduced him to me.
A local guy
Yeah.
from Nevada?
No, sir, I didn't think so.
Okay. somewhere in the beginning of Bushwhacker days, was there an occasion when Billy Barger came to your house to stay overnight?
Yes.
And were you there?
Yes, sir.
And when he came there, do you know where he went in the house to stay?
Well, for the first couple of days, the guest bedroom, but then it was my dad's room, the master bedroom in the house.
And where did you live?
I had a room downstairs, and that was me and my dad's room, or my dad and I's room.
Had you ever lived with Billy Barger before that?
No,
Did you ever spend any time with Billy Barger before that?
no,
Did you come to know Billy Barger during the course of the next couple months that followed?
yes,
Did he continue to reside in your dad's house?
yes, sir.
And where did your dad live then?
He took my bed and I slept on a couch.
And where was that in the house?
It was in the same room. It was downstairs.
Today, as you sit here, am I correct, you have a high school education?
Yes, sir.
You didn't go to college, but you have a high school education?
Yes.
During the time that Billy Barger was living in the house, did you go to school?
Not regularly.
Why not?
I don't know, honestly. Just I don't know.
Before Billy Barger moved in there, how were you in school?
Good. I mean, it wasn't anything spectacular, but it wasn't, D's.
Did you go to school regularly?
Yes.
And what grade were you in?
That was beginning of my freshman year is when he moved in.
And you ultimately graduated with your class, am I correct?
Yes, I had to make up 2 years in one my just senior year. So
Who else was living in the household other than Billy Barger, your dad, and you at that time in 2009?
his girlfriend.
What was her name?
Kim Hunter, I believe is her last name. Her daughter. Sometimes her son. That's it.
Any other individuals?
Not that I can think of. No, sir.
Did you know Andrew Wadle?
Yes, sir.
Did he live there?
No.
Okay. Did he come there?
Yeah, I met him a few times.
Did you know Lonnie Swerns?
Yes, sir. The same circumstances.
Did he come there too?
Yes.
He didn't live there.
No.
And during the time that Mr. Barger lived there, from around Bushwhacker days
Yes.
until January of 2010, is that a fair statement?
Yes, sir.
You and your dad continued to live in the basement room, correct?
Yes.
And during that time, who ran the household?
Billy Barger did.
Before Billy moved in, who ran the household?
My dad.
And after Billy moved in, how would you say your relationship with Billy Barger was?
There wasn't a relationship. I just did what I was told.
How did he treat you?
Not very well.
I'm sorry?
Not very well, sir.
What did he do to you that was not very well?
Just the way he talked to me. There's different instances where punched me, things like that. Just kind of made me nervous to be around him, honestly. So I tried to stay away.
Did he ever threaten you?
Yes, sir.
What did he say to you?
Just that if things go his way, that it all works out well, and if not, then and he just kind of left it blank there. But as he's sitting at the table with his gun sitting on the deal, you kind of can put that together. Well, I did.
And did Billy always have a gun?
Yes, sir.
Did Billy, you said he punched you once.
Oh, yes, sir.
Once or more than once?
That was just once.
When was that?
I don't know the exact date. I remember I came home late. I was out with some friends. I came home late, and everybody was at the table, and I didn't feel the need to knock at my own house, so I just walked in, and that wasn't the thing to do.
Why not?
I got a gun pulled on me and,
By who?
Billy Barger,
What gun?
the over-under Derringer.
And where? And was that when you came through the door?
As soon as I came through the door, I guess I scared them or something. Not quite sure, but I was shocked.
And what happened then?
We went outside and
We meaning who?
Billy Barger took me outside and punched me in the ribs and said to make sure I knock. It's his house.
Did you feel it when he punched you in the ribs?
Oh, yes, sir.
Is there any question in your mind that you weren't going to fight back with him?
Oh, I would not do anything. I wouldn't have touched him.
Why not?
He made it very clear who his father was, and with that comes, I didn't want no part of that, sir.
Did he ever threaten you in your life?
No.
While he lived there, could you characterize how he acted?
Yes.
Tell me.
Very sporadic, very hands always going, and just always moving around and pacing and just the kind of stuff that makes the person nervous.
Did he ever give you orders?
Oh, yes, sir.
And what type of orders did he give you?
Oh, range from doing dishes to cleaning blood up off the bed.
There was a time when someone apparently was in some type of an altercation on the deck, correct?
Yes, sir.
And there was blood on the deck?
Yes.
And someone enlisted you to clean it up, correct?
Yes, sir.
Tell me the circumstances and who it was and what was said to you.
Billy came to me and said, I need this blood cleaned up before the kids get home from school. Make sure it happens.
And did you take that as an order?
Yes, I grabbed whatever I could, a rag, I started rubbing, it didn't work for 2 hours. I sat there and scrubbed and it didn't come up, and then I finally found some sandpaper and got it off before the kids.
While you were doing that, did Billy come out to check your progress?
No,
And when you got all done with it, you had to sandpaper it to get it?
I had the sandpaper, it would not come up with rag and bleach.
Was it a lot of blood?
Not a whole lot, but there's definitely blood there.
What do you think would have happened if you hadn't cleaned it up?
I don't know.
Were you afraid of Billy?
Yes, sir.
What did your dad call you in the house?
Derek,
What did Billy call you?
Youngblood.
And what was that supposed to be?
I don't know. Everyone had some kind of nickname. I don't know what that was about.
Do you know who gave you that nickname?
I believe it was Billy Barger, yes.
Do we have the picture of the photograph?
Usually quick. Like I said.
I'm going to show you what's been marked in this case as S-130. I'm going to ask you to take a look at that picture. Tell me if you see yourself in it.
Yes, I do.
And obviously you were present when that picture was taken.
Yes.
You're wearing a shirt, is that correct?
Yes.
What kind of shirt is it?
It's a Harley Davidson shirt.
Is that your shirt?
No, sir.
How did you get that shirt that day?
Billy gave it to me, told me to wear it, because it was red and white.
And your dad is in that picture, correct?
Yes, standing right behind me.
And he's wearing a vest, leather vest?
Yes.
Is that his vest?
I've never seen my dad in a vest before, so, I mean, before this night, no, I didn't even know he had a vest.
He's got a bandana on his head, correct?
Yes.
Did you ever see your dad wear a bandana like that?
No, sir.
The other individuals have bandanas in the picture too, correct?
Yes.
You don't, I don't think, do you?
No, sir.
Do you know who supplied those bandanas?
Yes, sir.
Who?
I believe Lonnie went by the Dollar General, which was right by our house, and got those right before he came over. And then the picture was taken shortly thereafter.
Do you know why that picture was taken?
I have no idea.
Do you know when it was taken?
No, sir.
Were you ordered at any time to be in that picture?
Oh, yes,
By who?
Billy.
Would you ever think of saying no to Billy if Billy asked you or ordered you to do something?
No.
Why not?
I didn't want to cause problems, and he scared me to death. I was terrified of him.
Was there a time when Billy Barger learned that there had been something that happened in your town regarding a young girl who had either disappeared or had been killed?
Yes, sir.
And Billy,
Yeah,